ripped from a disaster movie, a major city filled with people completely wiped out in a single flash.
This is Tall el-Hammam in modern-day Jordan. For centuries, it was a thriving Bronze Age city. But around 3,600 years ago, something happened. Something so violent, the city and thousands of people just vanished.
It wasn't abandoned. It didn't fall into ruin over decades. It was annihilated. Okay, let's dive into this. What could possibly do that? The answer, when it came, was more incredible than anyone could have imagined.
For years, archaeologists dug through the layers here. And what they found in the layer from around 1650 BCE was just shocking. This wasn't the normal decay of an ancient city.
They uncovered a 1.5 meter thick layer of pure destruction. Building foundations were pulverized. Pottery was literally melted into glass. Human remains were so fragmented, it was as if the entire city had been put in a blender and then baked in an oven.
This mystery was unbelievable. Then, in 2021, a team of scientists published a theory in the journal Scientific Reports. They claimed they had found the answer, and it wasn't of this world. They proposed a space rock about 50 meters wide. Didn't even hit the ground. Instead, it detonated about 4 kilometers above the city, a colossal explosion in the sky. Can you even picture this? The explosion would have instantly raised the air temperature to over 2,000 degrees Celsius. That is hotter than volcanic lava. The very air would have become a weapon, incinerating everything.
Seconds later, the shockwave hits. A wall of force moving at 1,200 kilometers per hour, faster than the strongest tornado ever recorded. It wouldn't just knock buildings over, it would obliterate them into dust.
Now, what's really interesting about this slide is the physical evidence they presented. On the right, you see pottery from that destruction layer. Its surface bubbled and melted into glass. The heat had to be absolutely unimaginable to do that.
And the power? Just listen to this. The researchers estimated this single explosion was over 1,000 times more powerful than the atomic bomb dropped on Hiroshima, a truly apocalyptic event.
And this brilliantly illustrates their smoking gun, so-called shocked quartz. These are tiny sand grains whose crystal structure is fractured in a unique pattern. At the time, this was believed to only be created by the extreme, instantaneous pressure of a cosmic impact. Case closed, right?
And then the authors made a truly mind-blowing suggestion. What if a witness account of this catastrophe, a city destroyed by fire and brimstone raining from the sky, was passed down for generations and eventually became the biblical story of Sodom?
The story was spectacular. It made headlines worldwide. But in the scientific community, other researchers started looking closer at the evidence, and they started to ask some very difficult questions. Physicist and impact expert Mark Boslow was one of the first to publicly voice skepticism. His pun was very intentional. He argued the evidence just didn't add up to the kind of event the paper described.
Remember that shocked quartz, the supposed smoking gun? While other geologists pointed out that similar-looking fractures can be created by more common events, like earthquakes. When they checked the samples against the 17 official criteria for a cosmic impact, they only matched 3.
The questions just kept piling up. Another study a year later found no mineralogic or geochemical evidence of an impact at all. And then, in a stunning turn, some researchers even began raising concerns about potentially manipulated images within the original paper itself.
The foundation of this incredible, world-famous story was cracking, and then it came crashing down completely.
In science, when the evidence for a study is found to be flawed, there is a formal process to correct the record. It's called retraction. So the crucial point is what the journal decided to do after all these critiques.
On March 21, 2023, the journal's Scientific Reports formally and completely retracted the paper. It was an official declaration that the study and its spectacular conclusions were no longer trustworthy. After years of intense debate, the journal's editors announced they had, quote, no confidence in the paper's original conclusions.
The evidence, once presented as so spectacular and conclusive, simply couldn't stand up to scrutiny. The entire theory of the cosmic airburst that destroyed a city had completely collapsed.
But this isn't a sad ending. It's actually a powerful, almost beautiful example of the scientific method in action. Science is not about being right the first time. It is a process of questioning, testing, and constant self-correction, all to get closer to the truth.
And so we are left right where we began. A city undeniably wiped off the map in a single catastrophic event. Its story is still waiting to be told. The sensational answer is gone, but the mystery? The mystery is as deep and as captivating as ever.